Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome to VC which is the Venture Capital TV from La Token. Today is Monday. Happy Monday. I would like to say happy Monday because, we back from the weekend. So we are all like a little tired on Mondays, but I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. I look forward to every day because of VCTV. I mean, you guys should know by this now. I love to be on VCTV because this is a platform we connect people who are investors, people who are founders, people who are audience who like to see where are we headed to, because of the lockdown, we can't meet each other in person. We can't go to conferences, right? It's all the news that we see and hear. But here we're talking to a live audience. We're talking to people from the investor community. We're talking to people from the founder, the startups. So that's why it's very real time and live as well. So the information that we share. So today we have a slight different format for the session. Today we are going to talk about clean technology, environmental green technology. Today we have speakers. We're going to speak about the recent investments and the trends in the space, as well as we also have a founder who's going to share his presentation about his project. So before we start the panel, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sonny Mohanty. I'm the regional director here based in Singapore of La Token. I host the shows, those who do not know, I host the shows every day, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Singapore, fixed time. I have a colleague who hosts this on different timings every day as well. So that's the beauty about VCTV. We have grown since we started in February 2020 and much liked by people like yourselves. That's why we have more shows in a day. Okay, great. That's VCTV. That's me. Today's topic is very good topic in the sense, very green, clean tech, environmental tech, and we have investors who are going to touch base on those areas. I would like to start first with Nitin, who has joined us back on VCTV after a break. Nitin, as you know, the format of VCTV, we would like you to introduce yourself, your project, then we go around other speakers. Welcome back. Over to you.
Thank you, Sonny, and thank you for having me again after a long gap of 3 months. It's good to see everyone. And a big hello to the viewers of VCTV as well. Just take a short 2-3 minutes introduction. So I'm Nitin Shakhter. I'm the founder and CEO of the Green Capital Single Family Office. We are headquartered in India, but we have global investments in US, UK, France, Germany, Dubai, and Southeast Asia. Currently, our portfolio and assets under management on a proprietary asset base is around 300 million USD. We are investors across asset classes. So that means we are investors across venture capital, private equity, public equities, ventures, and bonds. And good to have discussing on sustainability and green tech, which is a subject which is very close to our heart as well. Thank you.
Great. Welcome back, Nitin. I mean, hope everything was okay because you took a break.
Yeah, I was just taking some time off to create some profitable exits.
All righty. We're going to know more about it from you. Great. Thank you. I would like to start with a new speaker on the panel. Shane, welcome to VCTV. Where are you dialing in from? Just introduce yourself before we...
Yeah, how you doing, guys? I am dialing in from wet and rainy Ireland here, just outside Dublin, here in Europe. And yeah, I'm a 3-time entrepreneur now. I've set up and successfully exited from 2 or 3 different tech businesses. And my current project is in sustainability and CBD production. I can't wait to tell you a bit more about it later on.
Fantastic. And welcome to VCTV. Thank you, Shane, for the introduction. Next, I'd like to go Florian. Ooh, I always like that background. Nico, finance. Can't forget it. Can't forget it. Can't miss it.
Thank you, Sonny. So the background today is actually our first cover from Nico, the currency that I'm running. And I thought, like, for today's topic, it's a good match, you know, with clean tech, with the windmills and the solar panels, which you can't see. It's on the right, and most importantly, trees, which are very powerful, clean technology for the last 350 million years. So I'm Flo. I'm an entrepreneur and investor. I'm running a cryptocurrency called NECO. It's a stable currency for the common good. And our vision is to build a sustainable financial system that supports the people and the planet. I'm also an investor. I run an investment company who has been specialized in green technology recently, but now focusing more and more towards crypto. I believe that crypto is the future. And I also believe that changing the financial system is a key to then funding initiatives that develop technologies that can help us with especially the environmental problems that we're having, like climate change, pollution, and so on and so forth.
Right, Florian, I had to agree with you. Crypto is the future, and welcome back to VCTV. Thank you so much. Last but not least, Gary, welcome back. How was your weekend? What did you do besides cycling and trekking and all that fun stuff that you do all the time? Oh, Gary, you're on mute.
I was driving around, I have a little sports car, and I was having some fun and just the weather's warm. I was down by the ocean, just, enjoying it, having a good time, enjoying the warm weather and trying to stay away from COVID.
That's the whole idea. That's the whole point.
We used to have this thing called the boogeyman, and I think COVID is the boogeyman now.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is, but I don't want to see him, So anyhow,
that's a good one.
So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done 16 companies. I love artificial intelligence. I write a lot about it. AI is the new electricity. So I see that we invest in it. We curate companies. It's GSD Venture Studios. We're looking for resilient teams around the world that we can curate to go global. I've done 2 unicorns, Click Software I was on the original management team of, and Eva.ai, which I started 4 years ago. So love to be here. It's great to see everybody. I'm glad you had a good Diwali, and even though you didn't have the firecrackers, I guess you wanted to have. But yeah. I'll go out and light a few for you. How about that?
I really like the way you said it, it's Diwali. I mean,
Diwali.
Okay. Diwali.
Oh, okay, Diwali. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's all about like get together, family coming together, a lot of sweets, a lot of food, crackers, and everything. Yeah, it's like So yeah, we all had a great time. Thank you so much, Gary, and welcome back to VCTV.
Sure.
Fantastic. We all set with the introductions. Now I'm gonna ask Nitin, who was just talking me behind the scenes about his recent investments into ESG. So let's start with Nitin. Nitin, just talk us about what's happened in terms of investments since the beginning of this year, and where are we headed to as per you?
Well, I think in the emerging markets, what we are looking at is that sustainable and green environment is a huge talking point at this point in time. And that means if you look at air pollution, if you look at waste management, if you look at, I would say, green, sustainable ways of generating energy, Asia has a lot of opportunities in that sense, because the environment and the possibility of energy and climate change in this part of the world provides opportunities for the category to grow or the industry to grow. Recently, we've looked at waste management and a company in India, which is in waste management. We felt that a cleaner environment starts with 3 things, right? It's air, water, and let's just talk about these things, right?
Yeah.
So the problem is air and water, of course, can be controlled or not controlled in whatever manner, but every city in the world generates a lot of waste, whether it's San Francisco, New York, London, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Delhi, wherever we are. Obviously, in India, we generate a lot more waste because for some reason we are at a population of 2.4. In the lockdown, we would have gone to 2.5, I'm sure. And we would have generated a lot more at this point in time. And we are competing with China in the Olympics tally for the population as well. So that means we're generating a lot of waste, right? And the waste disposal systems in Asia or maybe in large conglomerate places like India, where the population spreads are high, are still not as, I would say, logistically or technologically developed. So there's an opportunity there, and we're looking at that very closely. I think I've spoken enough on this, and maybe it's time for something else at this point.
And the actually irony, I mean, obviously a lot of people, we lost a lot of life during the COVID in India as well. But I see a lot of celebrities with baby bumps as well. So as you rightly said, Nitin.
It is going back 40 years when we didn't have entertainment and we didn't know what to do, right? So create babies was possibly a better occupation.
Yeah, the way you said it. Okay, thank you, Nitin. Florian, over to you. So why would an investor right now, what's the rationale behind investing into ESG or clean energy, green energy space, or sustainable or impact space right now as for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it was always a thing, a matter of values. So I think I want my money to do something good. And rather than investing in something that's just generating profit, I would like to have something that generates profit and does something positive for the world. And as we see with many stocks like Tesla or solar companies, they have been rising. They have been returning profits. So it's a trend. It's a big trend that's happening. It's an important topic that is extremely important for the evolution of humans in our next decades. So you're investing into something which has huge potential and is doing something good. So for my investment company, I always focused on some areas that I'm not gonna spread my money all in all different kinds of investments, but I said my focus area until recently was green technologies, because I want to help them, and that's what I feel in my heart is what I should do with my money, and that way I can give back to the environment and I can give back to people. So as I said, for me, it's more a matter of values, of personal values.
Absolutely. Got it. I mean, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Gary, over to you. So we've spoken about agriculture farming I think last week, and we spoke about crypto and dollars. But today we're talking about clean tech and investments and startups. So, I mean, this is not like separate from, totally different from agriculture farming or sustainable, sort of topic that we have touched base. But generally speaking, so as an investor, so do you think this is the future where the investor should be looking to invest more, considering we've just gone through a big pandemic, the supply chain got disrupted, the toilet papers were like out of the shelves. So considering all those factors.
I love that. At least you admit it.
We all faced it. We just all faced it. I mean,
getting back to basics, right?
Yeah, getting back to basics. Absolutely. So, do you think investors should be looking to invest into startups in this space more than before?
Well, I mean, the situation is, I'm not sure we have any choice, right? We got the population of the world has gone up 4 times in the last 100 years to about 7.9 billion today and growing. We have less potable water, drinkable water than we've had over the last 10 years. That amount has gone down. And yet we have incredible technologies that can help us make a world of difference. We've got IoT to be able to monitor all kinds of different things. For instance, one of the challenges today is if I have a house and I've got radon or I've got not clean water, how many people have checked their water to see what the quality of their water is in their home, right? Rarely does anybody ever do that. Well, imagine, and the only time you do it in the US is when you sell your house and you check your water to see if it's good. So you could be living in there, 10 years and then find out that your water isn't any good. We need to be able to monitor things real time. So part of the opportunity is to be able to use those kind of sensors to monitor the things around us. On the other side of it, CleanTech, for instance, there's a company called Biosolvent out of Latin America that has a technology that's organic that sucks up oil. But the good news is you can then squeeze the oil back out again. So being able to use things organically. And we have challenges. I mean, it used to be where you would throw trash away and you just put it in a dump and that was it. Now the situation is actually, let's make things to be able to be recycled and recycled again. The challenge is that, you know, you have so many different types of plastic. It's not like there's one type of plastic. So having some type of a tag in there, I don't know if you're like me, but when I go out and I throw something in a can and it's got, you know, a blue can, a green can,
yeah,
yellow can, honestly, I don't know which can to throw it in.
yeah.
I really don't know. And then, you know, so we got to make it easier to, so people understand where those items go. And if you look at a piece of plastic, a lot of times they got little numbers on them saying what kind of plastic and what kind of recycle process they need to go through. So we in the past didn't look at recycling, but now we've got to look at it. It's about recycling, not disposing. So there's a lot of opportunity, and you know, our planet, are we going to realize the global temperatures have gone up dramatically?
Yeah.
In Florida since 1957, the average amount in some parts of Florida that the water sea levels have come up is about 8 inches onto the beaches, right? And I mean, it's not straight up, but if you look at it, it's estimated by 2099 that the average sea level, what the kind of impact it's going to have just in Florida is that'll be up by 29 inches. Well, most of Florida's average of 26. And I mean, when you when sea level goes up 1 inch, it can have an impact in terms of, you know, on the land across. So it's just interesting. So we've got challenges. The good news is, you know, we have some awareness. Look at what happened in India. During this pandemic, the first time in 30 years that people were able to see the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So the planet, as bad as the pandemic has been and continues to be, at least we understand that there's still a possibility to be able to cleanse our planet. I mean, we look at it, we're in this living, evolving ecosystem going around the universe and our solar system, and we got to keep it clean. I mean, this is it. And we got to think about how to explore further out again, right?
Yeah, correct. All right, fantastic, Gary. I just want to like early on when there was a lockdown in Singapore, there were pictures of animals, birds, all on the roads, you know. So there you go. They were all freely moving in the roads without any human intervention, I would say. They were all out freely. So that's the beauty about that. Okay, thank you so much, Gary. Nitin, I would like to ask you about any recent investments that you made. What stage it was, and why did you reinvest if you did? Or was it a new investment? And what was the reasons behind the investment if you did as a family office?
Okay, so some things we'll be able to talk about. Since it's a new investment, we won't be able to divulge too many details, but we've, as I mentioned, we have invested in a waste management company in India. It is a Series B, I mean, I think almost a Series A going on to a Series B kind of a growth platform. The company not only intends to create waste management solutions in India, which is obviously a large territory, but also intends to go into the developing markets of Southeast Asia. So I'm referring to Vietnam, Philippines, Laos, Cambodia, some parts of Thailand, you know, where, or even Indonesia, where issues of waste management are very prevalent, and disposal is an issue. And how do you create disposal mechanisms plus recycling mechanisms, as Gary pointed out before, and then how do you break down the waste, and where do you store the waste? So, you know, there are many opportunities there. In terms of the investment, it is an equity stake investment. And we've taken, I would say, a minority part at this point in time, with the intention to see how the business overrides and then increase the stake slowly as we speak. So I think that's about it, what we can share at this stage.
Okay, you mentioned that you're targeting India as well as Southeast Asia, like Cambodia, Thailand. So is it like you are doing it through partners in the region, or you going
No, the
yourself?
investment which I highlighted is the company that is going to go into new territories like Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand.
Got it. All right, great. So it was made in the recent times, the investment, I mean.
Yeah, just about 3 months back.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Thank you so much, Nitin. Florian, over to you. I just want to know, because I've got a lot of startups in sustainability, sustainable fuel, impact field sector, green tech, they've all coming up with tokens. And some of them are there who are still figuring out, why should I use a crypto in my project, be it a waste management, be it a recycle, be it, anything to do with a green sustainable space. How does crypto help or is beneficial as per you, as per your experience?
Yeah, I think crypto is important for the funding process. Most cryptocurrencies are a form of crowdfunding. So instead of trying to find investors that invest in you, you can, get your friends, family, and also to do a crowd investment. So tokens are a great way to enable a form of crowdfunding, but also a form of self-funding. Like in my company, we're using our own token, Neko, to pay all our teammates, to pay all our partners. So in the end, it liberates us because, we can create these tokens. We're creating the money that we need to run our operations. And that also makes it, gives an advantage to our customers who can deposit the money. And we don't have to take their money to pay for our operation costs. We just use their money in our reserve and create our own tokens on top that are backed up by the reserve, but use our own tokens to fund our operations. So that way I had a relatively small seed investment into this business to run our operations for 2 years before we started the crowdfunding phase. So crypto is a really good and efficient way of funding that is more towards crowdfunding rather than, finding venture capitalists, and allows you to use smaller amounts, but from more people to fund your operations.
Right.
And last but not least, it's a stability thing. Unfortunately, most cryptocurrencies are not really stable, they're volatile. But if you look at fiat currency, you would never invest in a fiat currency. If you think about it, it's a currency that constantly loses value. Then you give your money to a bank and they charge you. It should be the other way around. And the system is completely bankrupt. We have 3 times more debt in our system than money. So there's no way we can pay back the debt. And debt, as you know, is increasing exponentially because of interest. Interest is an exponential curve. And that's what's happening now. That's, in my opinion, what will bring down the system in the very near future, together with the issue that the system was built on infinite growth and it needs growth to sustain itself. And now we have a virus that has really stopped the growth and, this madness in a way, which is helping the planet, but it's also gonna, collapse the system in the very near future. So I believe that moving away from this old system towards a new system with cryptocurrencies is a very good way moving forward.
Very valid points, Florian. So startups who've actually reached out to me asking this question, so they have questions around building a token around that sustainability project. So here you go. Why would you like to, have a token? We can connect you with Florian later on as well after the show. Thank you, Florian, for those points. Because Gary is a technology person, AI, quantum computing. So we would like to know from him how artificial intelligence, machine learning, or blockchain technology or 5G can actually help enhance the scalability of the startups in the space.
Yeah, I mean, so you look at 5G and now 6G, right? It's about, you look at the connection. So if you look at AI is a new electricity, the fuel is the data, and then 5G is really the turbocharger. So it allows us to be able to collect data, to be able to look at that data, but more importantly, to make some predictions and forecasts based on data, and with unsupervised AI, be able to take action. So the startups, it's all about, we're inundated with data, right? The amount of data that we have is about 33 zettabytes of data. If we look at it, as I've said, if you go to the moon, it would be CDs or DVDs stacked one on top of another, would go 23 times between here and the moon. So, and growing at 62% per year. So we're inundated with it. So the startups that are able to collect that data from these, the IoT, the sensors, and to be able to understand what kind of, where the water's bad, where the air quality is bad, and more importantly, how can I make some changes to it? So if I got non-potable water, how can I add some type of a chlorine or something to be able to clean it, to be able to make it better for me? And I'm not talking about where you're talking about municipal water supplies. I'm talking about if I'm a farm and I'm a farmer and I have a well, that's where it's a challenge because they don't check, right? And I personally had it happen. I had a property on a farm, new house, big house, and the water actually got non-potable. And I never knew it. Only time I knew it is I was selling the house. So imagine having a very large house, 800 square meters that had bad water. So if I would have known, if I'd had a sensor in the water, I could have detected and make the changes and course corrected, but I didn't. Well, imagine this on a massive scale. How many small farms are there in India? So what we want to do is we want to be able to, the startups that can not only collect the data, but analyze the data and make some predictions based on the data and then take some action. So that's really where it is. And guess what? This is like the new frontier. This is just getting ready to really take off. So the startups that want to get out there, now's the time. Don't wait 5 years from now and say, oh, I wish I would have done it. This is like, you know, many, many years ago at the beginning of the fast food sandwiches, and the McDonald's brothers came out with a new way to be more efficient. This is the time. So now's the time. I was at the beginning, Sonny, in the late 90s. I started a consulting company in e-commerce. People said, oh, it's never going to work. It's just about selling books. People are never going to use their credit card online. I was right at the beginning of this stuff. And I remember a guy told me, P. Hong Chen is a $30 billion cottage industry. And he became one of the wealthiest guys in the United States in 3 years. And he was up like $8 billion. And I'll never forget that. This is that same time. This is the time for the startups. Train it. This is a way to make our lives better, our lives cleaner. And it's something that, because of overpopulation, the way we've treated the earth in the past, is something that needs to be done today.
Absolutely. So startups, don't wait 5 years. This is the right time.
Yeah, I agree, Gary. This is the right time. You know, we're at the verge of a new age, a new era that's coming, an era of health and sustainability. The old era is ending, the old era of industrialization of growth. So it's the perfect time if you're in that space to get started right now. It may sound a little challenging, maybe the next 2 or 3 years, there are still some challenges, but I think once we are through this phase, we will see very clearly that there's something new coming, something bigger that will bring us into a future that you know, most of us wouldn't even dream about. And so I agree totally with Gary. It's the right time now to get started.
Great, Florian. Thanks for adding those words. So we've just come to the second half of the session today. We have Shane who's going to share his presentation. So Shane, so maximum 10 minutes. Then we have questions from Florian, Gary, and Nitin. Then after that, we have closing remarks. So Shane, over to you. We can start.
That's great. And actually, I was told 5 minutes, so don't worry about going over 10 minutes. I certainly won't. Can I just share my screen with you guys now? Is that okay?
Yeah, you go for it. Yeah, we can see your
hopefully. Yeah, hopefully that'll come on in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, guys, hopefully you can see that okay.
Yes, we can.
Great, guys. So, guys, my name is Shane Brett, and I am the CEO of Greenheart Punt, which is a new sustainable DeFi token, which we are launching and is being led by Greenheart CBD. And Greenheart CBD are one of Europe's leading licensed CBD producers. And what we're doing is we have just launched our pre-IEO on the token on November the 1st, with some different token bonuses going down to our launch with our live listing that we're extremely excited about, taking place on December the 1st. So guys, what's the problem currently in the CBD industry? Over the last couple of years, as we've built a business, one of the big issues we've noticed is that there's really a lack of licensed and really undifferentiated CBD producers. So in other words, there's a lot of product in the market, there's a lot of different brands, but they're quite undifferentiated. And what we did with my own background coming from blockchain and different types of fintech technology, coming to this company, what we wanted to do was really use cutting edge technology, particularly around drones and how they use machine learning and artificial intelligence to really revolutionize the way that we were able to grow our crop from seed to shelf. Of course, CBD users, the retail users globally, as well as often CBD producers, can often face pretty large problems when it comes to actually processing the fees and the payments, as well as excessive charges currently in place for in a lot of countries. And even though a number of CBD type companies have tried to launch tokens, none of them have been successful. None of them already had a bootstrapped, profitable, licensed business in place that was scaling. And it meant that there's really no standard token throughout the CBD industry. And we're going to change that. And what we are is we set up the company 2 years ago here in Ireland. We got all our CBD and hemp related licenses from the government here. And actually we grew our first crop last summer. So unlike a lot of other projects, if you like, we have a demonstrable track record of really delivering a project successfully. We really focused on using technology to make that process easier. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. And right now, based on our growth from launching in January, we're currently the fastest growing CBD supplier in Europe. So what we do is unique is we basically look after the whole end-to-end process. So we literally have land that we've used about 1 hour from Dublin here in Ireland to grow our first batch of CBD last year. That was literally seed to shelf. So right from using 6-foot drones that we have an exclusive license for here in Europe, which we can use to actually identify the genders of the plant, between being a male or female, to pick the male plant, and really to hugely increase the profitability of the land for producers. So be they farmers or be they ourselves. And what we use once we've actually harvested our products, we use a homogenized cold press extraction, which what that does in plain English, it basically is a way to produce the CBD oil that actually locks in all the goodness within that, which is really, really important. And of course, we have all that data, I should mention, from the drone, from the actual harvesting process, from the production process. And really what we've been left with is we always felt we were missing the last stage of the process, which was the payment end of it. And of course, that's why we're launching the project, and we'll have that information in the future too. So guys, since we actually started to sell the product on our Greenheart CBD website in January, we actually had over 1,000 customers just when I put this deck together 5 weeks ago. But I checked it last night and it's over 1,280 right now. So we've been growing very, very quickly. And that's just through our website. Because the company is bootstrapped and self-funded, and why we're raising money now is, of course, to be able to expand that distribution globally from a retail perspective, as well as in a franchise model, which I'll go into in a little bit in a moment. Our return rate is nearly 3 times higher than the industry average. It's getting close to 60% now, and that's customer return rate. So in terms of retention, if you look at our probably 60,000 on social media, you'll see plenty of videos and feedback from people who this product has really changed their life, or even their children's life, depending if they have different illnesses. So very, very exciting. So currently right now we're selling about $1,000 per day retail through our Greenheart CBD website. We've also got wholesale products as well. But the core really important point is that unlike a lot of other cannabis and CBD related projects, we have already grown, produced and sealed at our secure facility outside Dublin over $12 million worth of CBD oil, which is ready to go to market. As I said, that's the reason we're raising money. So yes, while there are problems with different payment areas, we feel that a lot of producers don't really use advanced technology for this really exciting area. At the same time, having a profitable new company which is fast growing, what we're really excited about is the market opportunity. I mean, everyone knows retail has been very difficult globally, especially this year, but one of the really important fast growing segments, which is a kind of a leading light in the retail world, is the CBD industry, particularly as people get more familiar with it and it's been normalized, if you like, and people can see the benefits of the products. So we're very excited about that, and that's the reason we're launching our IEO on the token. So the token launch price is going to be 10 cents, and that's going to be used by token holders to access our full product range, which is oils, in the future popcorn and edibles, creams and balms, as well as a large network of partner companies that we also have in place in different areas that you can see on our website, which will also be eligible for discounts as well. And that's all going to be through our new dApps marketplace that we've been building out using Origin technology over the last couple of months, and we'll be going live the second week in December. So guys, what our token raise looks like is it's actually a 5-year project, and we're only releasing 20% of tokens each year to the market. That's going to be 1 billion tokens over the 5 years. And crucially, and where we want this project to be different, is that we are backing up every year our token with 1,000 liters of Green Heart CBD oil. So that's ring fenced specifically into our token entity to give our investors that link to the underlying commodity, which of course they can redeem if they want to, or they can hold on to trade in the future. 1,000 liters is currently valued at about $4 million annually, and we are insuring the products at our secure facility specifically for that amount of money to protect our investors. As I mentioned, our distribution schedule, we literally launched on November the 1st with our pre-IEO, and we've got some great bonuses in place going down each week to our live launch on the token that we're extremely excited about, taking place on December the 1st and on some other exchanges globally, both in Europe and in Asia later in December and going into January. We have a huge amount of roadmap information in our white paper, but just to kind of summarize it here, over the next 2 years, we've got a very detailed plan in place. And of our $4 million that we're raising, half of that is being used to build what we call our innovation hub. But what that really means to the man in the street is we're going to buy about probably up to 100 acres of land outside Dublin in really, really good agricultural areas to grow the product. We are going to also build a decortication plant, and we are also going to, as well as that, go into new lines, like as I said, edibles and different types of creams, etc. So a key point of it is we have this exclusive drone deal in place for Europe that we use specifically for the CBD industry. So we're really excited about that. So myself, Shane Brett, I am one of the co-founders. I've been in business for 25 years. I've written 3 books on emerging technology. I've raised about $3.5 million for different companies that I founded over the last number of years. Paul Walsh is our co-founder, and he's the visionary behind the whole project. And Mark Canavan, his childhood friend, has the experience for over a decade running simultaneously multiple different retail industries. So we have a world-class team of project advisors, really all across crypto, commodities, social media, and also right into marketing. And they've been great at pushing this out globally and getting the name out there. Since we launched in January, we've had great coverage globally, as well as particularly here in Ireland. We've been nominated at the World CBD Awards, and we were featured 2 months ago in the UK edition of Vogue magazine. So we've over 50, or I think it would be nearly 60 5-star reviews on our website now. So please have a look and see what our customers think of us. They absolutely love the product. And just in terms of summary, I'd be delighted to answer any questions that you guys might have about Green Heart CBD or our projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you for that presentation. You may start viewing, sharing your screen now.
Sure, thank you.
Great. Questions. I'd like to go with Florian first.
Thank you, Sonny. And Shane, thank you for the presentation. It resonated very well with me. It started with your background, because San Francisco was my home many years ago, and also the first place where I got the medical cannabis license, actually.
Great.
Now I'm in Malta. I have the same here. I use it to treat my sciatic nerve problem from a past paragliding accident. Oh. And so I think what you're doing is great. Actually, there was a medical cannabis summit here in Malta last year, and Malta is also a leading country in Europe in terms of the legislation. They're opening up, and we see that across Europe they want to also to harmonize the licensing model. So it's definitely a good space to be in. My question to you is regarding the sustainability of your production. Are you producing them organically, or how are you dealing with the sustainability aspects of your product?
Yeah, no, we're just a couple of points on that. So we are producing our crop organically. So we started that about 2 years ago. It took a number of months to get the right licenses. And I think, just go to your point, I would love to have a European harmonized licensing structure in place, and of course Malta is at the forefront of that. So we started actually, in terms of our production process and our planting, going back to the start of 2019 and getting into April. And basically that has been completely organic. So we started with initially 10 acres, which in an area about 30 or 40 kilometers from Dublin, and used that as our kind of test basis, if you like. We didn't have because we were bootstrapped and we were doing this from our own savings, we didn't have the money to actually buy that land. So we leased the land initially. And one of the reasons we're doing this raise now is to be able to actually purchase our own land that we've identified and be able to have regular kind of harvests on that. I also used to live in San Francisco. I'm obviously back in Ireland now, but I mean that was a fantastic experience I had over there, trying to raise money for different businesses and growing as well. So yeah, it's great to be back.
Okay, Florian, any other questions? Or we move? Okay, thank you. Nitin, over to you. Any questions for Shane?
Hi Shane, thank you for the presentation. Fortunately or unfortunately, CBD is still illegal in this part of the world, and that's the prime reason why we haven't initiated a lot more research and development on this particular category and industry. I'm personally, I don't have too much of information, to be honest, to be able to create an investing stance, because what happens is, as part of the regulations, if the product becomes legalized, then it's a go for us to start researching and researching in-depthly. At this point in time, I'm unfortunate enough to sort of warrant any questions, because I don't have enough information, and yet we are not legally allowed to invest in this product, at least in this part of the world. But I wish you all the best, and we're going to track this industry, and hopefully the regulations will come through at some point in time. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your good wishes. Certainly on a personal level, just I meant to say to Flo as well, how I got interested in this area was because I have a very, very bad back, and I had 3 rounds of spinal surgery. And one of the only things that gave me relief actually was CBD use over time. So I went from working in hedge funds and financial technology around blockchain to coming into this area, but it was driven very much by my personal quest for a sustainable way to have pain relief, but at the same time could also really benefit the production on land, but at the same time hopefully growing a profitable business as well.
Yeah, my accident was pretty tough too. I was paralyzed after my accident. And I remember we were allowed to smoke marijuana in the hospital. So the doctors allowed it because they knew it was a medicine. And it strikes me until today that governments can make medicines illegal consumption. So as part of the NACO project, we are launching our NACO Constitution, which has our values. And one of our articles will be personal sovereignty, which means everything you put into your body is your own business and no one else's. Because we have made a lot of, our governments have made a lot of substances illegal, which shouldn't be illegal because they're medicines. And you can't just say, just because someone is taking CBD, that's a crime. I don't know where the crime is in this example. But luckily, we're seeing a movement in the United States and in Europe towards it. Asia is still a little behind in this development, but it's moving forward, and it's gonna happen fast, in my opinion, too, in the next 5-10 years.
Definitely, we would receive fairly regularly, video testimonies, or even just messages especially from parents who have children with autism or different types of diseases or different conditions, which have been really, really enhanced by different, CBD products, which is that makes it all worthwhile,
Yeah, fantastic. Gary, do you have any question for Shane?
Shane, I'm curious about that, because I also, hold on a second, I want to make sure I see it. I was in judo, and I really damaged my back in a national competition, and I have problems in my back. I'm an AI guy, but I'm also an investor. So tell me a little bit, how are you taking it? Are you smoking it or rubbing it on?
No. I actually take it as drops under my tongue twice a day, literally, in a dropper. So we have different sizes of oils that we sell. Now we're after launching creams as well, and different types of balms, which are very good. But I find once I take 2 droppers, morning and evening time, and don't forget, and there's different strengths. Obviously, the 5% one we would find very effective. It probably takes about 10 days, I'd say, 1 to 2 weeks, maybe an average of 10 days for people to really start to feel the difference. How I notice it personally is sometimes my back is bad. I feel like someone's poking me with a hot poker in the back, you know. And
where in the back, in the bottom or in the top?
You know, in actually the mid-thoracic area. So where I was operating on was around the 7th or 8th thoracic, that middle area. And it just takes away the flashes of red hot pain. I still get sore and I still get, you know, a little bit of tense, but nothing like it was where I couldn't think straight because I was in so much pain, you know?
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. I'm going to try it. And then if it, and again, I'm a AI investor, but I'll try it. I'm going to go down through, I'm in Florida right now. I live in Florida and California, but I'm going to try it. And if it does work, why don't you, I'll give you my email address and you can.
Gary, we'd be delighted. We actually have customers in the US, but I'd be delighted to send you a bottle to see what you think, you know, particularly because you're interested in AI as well, because one thing that we're doing very differently is taking the 6-foot wide AI drone, which basically scans over the field of growth of the actual hemp and then uses it as it learns what the female plant, a healthy plant looks like, and then is able to extract the male plant or any issues literally to enable a really full harvest of female plants. Which should be in great condition with all the data underlying that as well, you know. So very interesting.
That sounds very interesting. I mean, I have another friend of mine that's a very big investor, one of the largest investors probably in the U.S.
Wow.
A very good friend of mine, and I'm interested in it. So I sent you my information. It's interesting. I've heard it enough times now that it's interesting for me, and I'll try it. And if it works. Because I literally, it's debilitating kind of pain. And Florian, how did it work for you? Or how does it? Do you still do it?
Yeah, I use it. It's a good medicine against pain. So sometimes my sciatic nerve goes crazy and sends me pain into my leg. So it's a great.
Do you have sciatica? Is that what it is? Do you have sciatica?
Sciatica, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what how much does it reduce it?
Well, it takes it almost completely, sometimes let's say 80% usually. I need it when I have, like, these are peak times when I use it, other times I don't use it, but when I get into these peak times.
Yeah, definitely.
And Mariana has so many positive effects, you know, can list of 20 ailments they can cure. You know, insomnia is one, anxiety, but also I gave, my father has skin cancer, so I gave him Mariana oil. And at that time, I had to get it in the States under my license and then smuggle it into Germany. Now things are getting better. You know, you don't have to commit a crime to help someone. But it's a really powerful medicine that can cure a lot of.
Yeah, no, I'm interested. You know, the thing is, you know, there's some incredible advancements in science taking place. I just spoke to a group in Panama that's doing stem cells, and I actually got that from Mel Gibson. His father went in and had a heart attack, had heart problems, and actually had stem cells and dramatically changed him. And another friend was supposed to have hip, you know, he's in amazing shape, 50 years old, was going to get a hip replacement. Actually, they did stem cells, and now he can walk again in 6 weeks. I mean, it was unbelievable. I've never seen so. You know, the thing is, I know one thing, you got to keep your mind open for incredible technology. So I'll try, and if it looks interesting, we'll think about investing in it.
Great. Well, Gary, I would delighted to send you. For me personally, one of the big things is sleep. Unfortunately, I was widowed a couple of years ago, and I got a couple of small kids, and basically I need to sleep. Otherwise, I can't be a good dad as well as a good businessman. And the CBD helps my sleep hugely. So we'll look forward to getting that over to you and seeing what you think.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. And another thing I use it for, to be honest, is creativity.
Yeah.
You know, as an entrepreneur, one thing that's really critical is coming up with creative ideas. And sometimes, you know, during the day I get stuck, like I can't find the solution. So then I stop working, use the medicine, and all of a sudden, bang, here comes the answer, you know. So it's, you can even use it for that. It's not a disease, but it helps with creativity.
Wow, I'm intrigued. Can I buy it at Singapore?
Hey, this sounds so good, Sonny, doesn't it? It sounds so good. It's like a miracle cure. It helps creativity. My back feels better. I was in a paragliding accident, and I can walk again. It's like a miracle, you know?
Yeah. Like one
I had back surgery. I can sleep better. Oh my God.
Creativity, sleep better, you know.
You don't have to, as long as it make you eat more. It doesn't make you eat more like like marijuana, right? It
No.
doesn't do that.
It doesn't for me at all. No, I don't believe so. I've never really heard that actually from oil. No, it's more, it can take away anxiety, or, if you have a negative feeling, it's very good for settling your mind. It hasn't done anything to my waistline. I think I've done that all by myself.
All righty. So it doesn't help to put on weight. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, great, fantastic. Really like the show today, where Shane is actually building relationships and already
Yay.
potential investor. Awesome. Congratulations, Shane. And great
Thank you very much. Great to meet you guys. Thanks, Gary, Flo.
Sure.
Great.
Fantastic. Now, considering the time, I'd like to take some closing remarks. I'd like to start with Shane, because this is the first time you've been on my panel. Probably you spoke in Kyle's panel before. I don't know.
That's correct.
Yeah. Closing remarks for the show and feedback about VCTV.
Oh yeah, it was a great session, guys. Really, really brilliant to make your acquaintance, and really thank you so much for listening and also for your input. As I kind of have mentioned my closing remarks already, and that this has been kind of a personal journey for me, really to try and find a great product which would change my life and hopefully in a sustainable way the world and other people's, but at the same time also engage my passion for emerging technology, which is a big part of that, to be able to try and do something different with what we call CBD tech. So that's really interesting. We're very excited about our token because we've already built the product, we already have it there, but we're also speaking to a number of different investors about an equity investment into our parent company as well, to help us expand globally, particularly into the US. I did that in my previous business, and you need a good deep bank account to go to hit America properly, and then we'll get over to Asia hopefully when the rules change in due course. So thank you very much.
I'll wait for it. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nitin, what's your closing remarks and feedback about VCTV, considering you were away for a long time?
I think what's important is that as investors, we have a lot of knowledge and learning about different categories and industries, but the idea being that even as an investor, the process is continuous learning. And even for us to sit on a panel, and even for me, to look at newer products like CBD is also learning and knowledge. And that sort of becomes very mind inquisitiveness to get ourselves to research on something that we don't have enough research on. And so I think that's a good exchange of ideas. We're always open to solutions and problems, as Florian said, that it actually has proven medical solutions and problems for people who are actually in pain. So I hope that the regulators look at that. And we also, as investors, need to open our minds and learn about new experiences and newer knowledge, and then take a more conclusive call. And I think that's what VCTV does for us as well. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Nitin. Regulators, and we need your help as well, support in this, because this is really, curing so many things, not just one thing. Thank you so much, Nitin. Florian, over to you. Your closing remarks for the show.
Yeah, thank you, Sonny. So yeah, I found this session today quite interesting, with a lot of personal resonance towards that topic, obviously. And I remember very early when I started researching cryptocurrency, I came across a token called Weedcoin, and I was smiling. It's like, okay, this is happening too. And I thought it was a kind of a joke, but now I see with Shane's presentation, this is something really professional. This is a really important topic. And so I'm glad we covered it today. Sonny, good choice in the presentation and the audience. I liked it. I enjoyed the fun. And I think, it's not just about fun, but it's really about the future of mankind as well. I'm very much into plant medicines. I'm actually a shaman. I do some other plant medicines too. So this is something that I found super important for the future of the human evolution. So thank you for that, for offering that show today about this topic. And Shane, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, Florian. I'm going to have you back again on our shows. Thank you. Last but not least, Gary, over to you to closing remarks of the show.
Oh, no, I love this show. This is great. I love it. And I love your conversational style. It's great to get Florian here, and Nitin. Shane, is nice to meet you. So now this is great. I think we veered a little bit off of the CleanTech side, but as I said, data is critically important, and being able to take, I see in the back the windmills, being able to take the data and understand what that data is and make some powerful decisions. And we have, you know, we've got this beautiful planet, when we're blessed to have a beautiful planet, but we need to do a better job of taking care of it. And part of taking care of it is understanding what's happening with it, so we can course correct. So I'm excited about it, and people can reach me, Gary Fowler, LinkedIn, Twitter. I've got a weekly show now, and I got some person coming on that does a lot with space and electric cars, and I'm not going to say exactly who that is yet because it's not confirmed. But I think you might have a understanding. So we got a pretty powerful reach now with it. In fact, Kyle's on my show this week, Sonny.
Wow.
So,
saw that poster.
Yeah. So anyhow, I loved it. Shane, I wish you a lot of luck. Let's keep in touch and see what we can do. Reach out to me on Twitter, reach out to me and I look forward to it. Investors, startups, get a hold of me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you so much. Yay, clap. Thank you so much. So founders and startups who are looking to pitch and meet investors like Shane did today, you can always do that. Go on our website, select the investor you would like to be on a panel, and reach out to Carol and Maria, my colleague, who's going to book you for the session. Similarly, investors, we're going to, explore another startup like Shane, like Gary and Shane are like sort of talking about some collaborations. You can always do that on our panels. So please reach out to us, and we can connect you to the required startups and founders. So this is the whole idea about VCTV, connecting investors with the startups and the startups with the founders and audience. You can always tune in Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Singapore time, if you are in Asia. So thank you so much for your time, for your commitment. And I'm going to see you again tomorrow, another set of topic, another set of speakers. Till then, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and